What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Hustler's Mindset. This is Nick and Adam. We're going to sit here and talk to you guys today about providing the best protection for yourself. And this has to do with your credit, has to do with your investments, being an entrepreneur, even your own personal security when you are doing these investments. So I think the first thing we could talk about, which is very simple, is LLCs, why you form LLCs, S corps, why it's smart to have them when you open a business, or even if you don't even have like a real business, I guess you could say, you can still open an LLC and use it for tax purposes to protect yourself, protect your identity. What are some things off the top of your head before we go into deep subjects about LLCs? What are some things, the reason why you would open an LLC for your business and have that, obviously? Well, obviously you need to, but what do you think security-wise?
Basically, like you said, the whole purpose of a basic LLC is just to separate yourself from, tax purposes. So you obviously want an LLC for every business entity that you own, right? There's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that have multiple businesses, and each one, I can guarantee you, is separated by each individual LLC, for sure. But there's, you could have LLCs under the umbrella of an S corp. I'm not,
Yes.
a lot of people don't know that, right? So
yeah, that's what I'm doing with the clinic, honestly. So that's what we're doing for that.
So the benefits of having an S corp, basically, it provides that person, limited liability protection, but it also, for tax purposes, and regardless of their tax status. So limited liability protection basically means that the owner's personal assets are shielded from the claims of the business, whether it's claims from contracts or litigation. So having an S corp as the umbrella over the LLC is a huge benefit. And I recommend anybody that is doing big business, when I mean big business, a lot of volume, dealing with a lot of people, where lawsuits happen. So you want to be covered, and an S corp is what's going to protect you in the long run.
You got liability protection, tax breaks, especially if you have multiple investors, as well. Especially for and write-offs. I think it helps with write-offs as well. But like you said, definitely as far as lawsuits go, those things will happen down the line.
For sure. The benefits of S corps, they're basically considered like pass-through entities, and what that means is your business doesn't pay taxes on the profits that you earn. You the owner do, but unlike like C corps, where both the business and the owners pay income taxes, where an S corp avoids double taxation, as a pass-through entity. So there's a lot of benefits. I strongly recommend anybody that's trying to get into a business, and I've seen a lot of individuals branch off and try and start their own business in 2020 and going into 2021. Just because of how the pandemic hit, and they realized maybe their job is not as secure as they thought it was, and it's time to get their own bread. And they got to start putting their money to work rather than working for their money. So a lot of people are not, too educated on this space of LLCs, but it's definitely something you need to go over with your either attorney, with your accountant, so you could make sure you're set up correctly.
I think the most important thing in life are your accountant and your lawyer for your businesses. And I think a lot of people overlook those things all the time. They're like, oh, I don't want to spend money on a good lawyer. I don't want to spend money on a good accountant. Like those two things will save you tenfolds of money in the end if you have the proper people in your corner. Obviously, having the right ones as well is important, but you need someone in your corner to provide the correct information when it comes to contracts, look things over, double check things, triple check things. And then you need an accountant to do your numbers right. If you don't have a good man, I used to have shitty accountants when I was younger, and I thought I was getting good deals and good help. And when you find a good accountant, it's like, I'm sure you know that. I mean, it's night and day difference, like night and day difference. And I'm not saying, guys, to rip off your taxes. I'm talking about accountants that know how to do proper taxes. That's the big difference, because you don't want those things to haunt you in 5-10 years that you didn't pay taxes properly.
No.
Um,
Yeah, tax, and just security. Because if you get sued with an S corp, or a C corp, you're basically considered a separate legal entity from its owners,
yes.
right? So if you get sued and you just have an LLC, you're getting sued personally as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
right? But an S corp and a C corp basically separates you from the two. So basically, as such, the owners, you they still get the limited liability protection of a corporation. Um, However, you know, you gain that protection, in cases like that. So,
Yeah. LLC, you're not really safe when it comes to lawsuits.
mhm,
They'll just sue the LLC and then sue you. So, like
correct.
you said, they'll get you both. They'll sue the they'll go down twice. So, but at least with the S corp, you're separated, like you said. You don't have to worry about that. You can sleep at night knowing that you're safe, and you can carry on business. That's why, like, I'm wrapping. I wanted to wrap all this into having security as an entrepreneur. Like lawyers are important, guys. Accountants are important. That's like your security guards as an entrepreneur. Like you need those people
Right.
in your corner. Um, they're like an important asset to building a very profitable business because if you have partners and there's something wrong in that contract and one day you guys don't get along, that thing's gonna fucking haunt you and it literally will take you down. So you need to make sure that lawyer is, for you and looking out for you only because, you know, some simple words in a contract could really throw things off. So, and then obviously when it comes to taxes, we all know where that could go. That can get really ugly really fast.
Right. Right.
Um, so should everyone have an LLC? You think, even if they don't have a business? For tax
Um,
purposes, or no? You think that's
it's not going to help you if you don't have money coming through a business account, right? So you open up an LLC.
once if they
You know,
wanted to, not shady do something with LLCs? Do you think, let's say they start up a startup business LLC and run their cash. Maybe they get cash from their job and they open a separate LLC. Maybe they're a waitress or a bartender. Then they open,
mhm.
you know, Nick Enterprises because they want to have tax breaks and have show income. Could
Right.
they do that? Would you suggest someone doing that or no?
Yeah, like even when I was personal training,
Yeah,
um, for a gym, I opened up an LLC just so I could show some type of income. I was obviously getting paid out in mostly cash.
yeah,
So by having the LLC, at least you're showing you're paying taxes on a certain amount of income.
yeah,
Whether you wanted to try and get approved for a mortgage, right? You could at least have that type of paper trail coming in.
yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people overlook how much of a benefit that is in the long run when as you get older and you need to show income. When I was younger, I wanted everything off the books. I was like, no, 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 I don't want to be paid on the books. Never, no, I don't want
Mhm.
to pay taxes. And as you get older, those things change for some reason because you need to
Yeah,
start buying things,
yeah.
cars,
You
loans,
just like
house.
you need credit, and if you're getting paid in cash and you pay everything in cash, you're not building credit,
Yeah,
right? So, you know, um, your tax history is basically your credit of your life, and
yeah,
they're basing approvals, whether it be loans for, um, SBA loans, like
yeah,
business loans,
yeah,
or even mortgage loans. They're always going to ask for W-9s. They're going to ask for, tax returns for previous years.
yeah. Yeah, and also I tell people all the time, like one of the most important things about um, uh, having an LLC is also to show credit card transactions. Have a merchant attached to your business so that you can take credit cards. Everyone wants to take cash, cash, cash. Well, that's not going to help you when you want to go apply for business loans and stuff like that. You need to show transactions. Um,
Right. And if you're not running, credit card processing, at least be depositing some of your cash into your account so you're
yeah,
showing
yeah.
positive cash flow.
Yeah, yeah, and then obviously deposit things, frequently, consistently. Don't just do one huge deposit randomly. Say, hey, I'm gonna dedicate $500 a week to my bank account, so I can at least show bank deposits every week to show that I have consistent money coming in. You know,
Mhm.
those little things will make a big difference when you go apply for that loan or get a credit card or whatever the hell you're trying to do down the loan. You
Correct.
know. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was strategizing, picking the right partners for your first business, your 20th business, why you shouldn't pick friends, why you should pick business partners that are going to help benefit your business. Don't pick friends.
Yeah, I mean, I'm contradictory to this protocol because I've always partnered, and you're right in a sense. You're actually very right in a sense, but you have to be smart with it. So it's not like you can't partner up with friends. I encourage it because there's nothing better than making money with people that you're friends with, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, you need to be able to separate business from friendship, because at the end of the day, business, can't be ruined over, petty shit,
Yeah.
right? So I've always partnered multiple ventures with friends, but knowing those friends that I choose to partner with are ones that I can trust, and I know that, a friendship isn't going to be ruined over, business decisions,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there's a fine line. You're right, but there is a fine line.
Yeah. Listen, like I'm not saying don't partner with your friends, but don't do it because, oh, he's my friend, and he doesn't bring really anything to the table and
Yeah,
you're doing
of
all the
course
work.
they got to bring something to the table besides money. Everybody can bring money to the table, right?
Yeah, I
It's
know
not
so
always.
many of my friends that made that mistake though. They just like, oh
Yeah,
no, I
it's not
got, I
always
got, I
about
got to
money.
bring my boy on. Like, why? The fuck is he
Yeah,
gonna? What value does he bring to your business? Like,
right. Yeah, not always about money. So at the end of the day, you got to be able to trust that person, and not as a friend. You got to trust them as a business partner. Are they going to be there for the long haul? Are they going to put in, their fair share of game? Are they're gonna help you when things get rough? There's somebody you can trust, because friendship is different. But I encourage you to work with friends
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I think obviously, especially if you have a relationship with that person, you can trust them. Having a business is 100% trust. I mean, if you
Right.
can't trust your business partner, I mean, it's gonna be a long, dark road of no sleep. I've been there where I brought people on and literally, my trust was broken with them pretty much immediately. But I was too invested where I was like, I can't walk out now, I can't exit now, and that's just a very long, miserable road. So really make sure that these people are investable. Make sure you want to be doing business with these people every day. There's a big
Mhm.
difference in having the boy to talk to every day, like your best friend, and then doing business with them. And I
Right.
used to underestimate those things. And it's not the same thing. It's not fun sometimes, most of the time. So make sure these people are business minded. You're not doing everything. The workload is balanced between the partners, the the investors, and then also when you pick a partner, make sure they're going to be strategically helping you in the end goal. Like you guys have the same goal. You don't want to be investing with somebody that you never even talked to, like the whole plan out. Like, yeah, you guys might be on the same page today, but where do you foresee this business in 5 years and 10 years? It's
Mhm.
obviously something you want to do forever. So I think too many people invest in now. They're like, oh, this sounds like a great idea. They don't think about all the things that are going to occur, the problems that are going to come up in 5 years, 3 years, whatever. And then where do they want to take that business? What do you want to scale it to? Maybe someone's not ready to dedicate every day to that or
That's
10
what a lot
hours
of
a week,
people don't realize. You're right. You want to partner with somebody with the same animal mindset as you. If you're in beast mode all the time, where you're going to work, work, work to get to that certain level,
Yeah,
maybe your partner is not on the same level. Maybe
yeah,
they're not motivated as much. Maybe they don't need the money as much as you do. Whatever the case may be, right? You got to partner with somebody that has that same end goal.
yeah.
Because I tell you, man, it's it's lonely at the top. It's a
Yeah,
famous
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
It
it's very
really is.
lonely.
Like, people are always going to try and bring you down, and whether it's competition, or even it's friends. They see they hate. I promise you, they hate to see you doing well.
Yeah, they do.
So you're going to encounter issues um, with people that are maybe you thought were on your team,
Yeah,
from the beginning, and they're really not. So um, I promise you it's worth it when you get to that point, but it ain't no sunshine and rainbows to the top. I'll tell you that.
No, no, no.
No.
And this is probably, and to be honest, this is probably the least amount of friends I've ever had in my life at this point. I mean, like
Mhm.
my friends are my business people I do business
Yeah.
with.
I only literally hang out with people that I do business with because I'm around them all day,
Yeah,
all day.
yeah,
You see the people that I go out, for drinks with on a weekend, or if I go out to
yeah.
dinner with, it's people that I work with. So
You know, that's why it's so important to pick the right people you do business with because they're going to be like your husband or wife at the end of the day. You're going to be invested in them as much as a relationship. So, and I think so many people pick the wrong partners. Like they might be like, oh, let's take this guy on. He's got all this money. We could use him for this or that. And then you're like, God, I can't even stand this person every day. I got to deal with this guy every day. And then the biggest mistake I made was like you said before, and I said having the same mindset and the same vision because some people just don't want to work as much as you do, or some people just like, hey, I just want to do this part time. I'm not really trying to invest. And then when you get let down and they're not fulfilling that role that you thought they were going to fulfill, you're going to start being very, very, very angry towards them. You're going to hold a lot of hate towards them. And
mhm.
it's almost, it's inevitable it's going to happen. I mean, you're going to end up hating that person because they're not fulfilling that role that you thought they were going to do. And it's not personal. It's just that your expectations were, oh, he's going to put in 10 hours a day and he really wants to do two, and maybe don't have the same drive as you, but you can't, I mean, literally, you're not supposed to hate the person for that, but you're going to end up doing it. It's going to ruin the relationship. So that's why I get worried about doing business with a lot of friends now that I do have that are left,
Right, right, right.
because isn't it weird though? Like as you get older, everyone's like, "Hey, let's do this business together." It's like almost like having a cup of coffee now. Like everybody
Yeah.
wants to do business, and it's like I get inquiries all the time. I'm sure you do. Like, "Hey, bro, I got this great idea," and I'm like, "What idea do you have?" "Oh, let's do this." I'm like, "Fucking terrible." Like
Everybody
what?
has everybody has these genius ideas, and maybe in their head it sounds like a genius idea, but then when you hear it out loud, like you said, you question it. Um, Not everybody has the same mindset. It's kind of, I don't even know what the word is, but it's kind of bad to word it like that. But um, at the end of the day, not a lot of individuals know the work that is
No.
involved to make these, they're just ideas,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Make these ideas actually come to life. There's a lot of work behind the scenes that
No.
many people don't understand.
No.
The amount of work and time and lack of sleep and lack of this and money that has gone into every venture that I have started in the last year would scare the shit out of a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what's keeping people comfortable in their 9 to 5,
Yeah.
because they don't want to get to that point. I literally made sure I said, there is absolutely no way that any of this could fail because I'm putting so much on the line. And I feel like when you have everything to lose, right?
Yeah.
That's when you have no choice but to succeed,
Yeah. Yeah. When
right?
you're
So
pressured in that corner, man, that's
when
it.
you're put into that corner and this is literally your only option,
Yeah.
right? What other choice you have?
It's the same thing with your health. Like you want to relate to bodybuilding, it's the same thing. When
Yeah,
you're like,
what
same shit. It's the
you
same
know,
feeling.
but and they're both to an extent they're uncontrollable. Like with bodybuilding, right? You knew what you had to get done during prep to be your absolute best.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, sometimes your best wasn't good enough. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of variables, like the last weeks of prep, like the day before prep, the last couple of hours of prep,
Yeah.
a lot of shit can go wrong that's out of your control.
Yeah. And
But
just life shit. Yeah.
but with business, there's one thing that you can control, and that's your work ethic,
Yep.
right? You work hard, right? You're gonna produce the results. There's
Yep.
no ifs, ands, or buts. Work hard, you're gonna win,
Yep.
right? You never seen anybody fail by working 80 hours through the
Yeah.
night,
Too hard.
six,
Working
seven
too
days
hard.
a week, working too hard. That doesn't
Yeah.
exist.
No.
I promise you, it
No.
does not exist.
No.
So, like when I first started, I put my last 25K to my name when I started my credit repair business, right? I went partners. It was
Right.
50K investment. I put my last 25K.
Yep.
This was last year. And I said, I have no choice but to make this work if I want to leave my job,
Yep.
right? I want to move my entire family to another state. I can only do that if this works.
Yep.
So what I did, I went all in head first, made sure, everything succeeded as planned. And it did. Will it happen like that with everything that I go into? No, and it hasn't. I've lost
Yep.
tens of thousands of dollars in other ventures.
Yep.
But I knew with this main one, with my first one, where I dove head first, along with Amazon and Walmart and everything that I'm doing, behind the scenes now, I have no choice but to make that work because I don't have anything else to
Yeah.
fall back on.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they get comfortable. So
Yeah.
what they want to do is they have these ideas that they send to you because they don't really care. I mean, I don't want to say they don't care, but if it doesn't work, right,
Yeah.
they're okay because they have a job. They have a salary coming in with whatever they're currently doing.
Yeah.
But I promise you, if you cut all of that shit out and make this your main and only priority, you have no choice but to make it work.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't think like that. So yeah, they say, "Come with you, hey Nick." They see you have a lot of, you have a lot of following. You have, a lot of money. You're very successful in what you do. Everything you touch seems to go to gold, right? So they have an idea. They say, "Oh, if I run it by Nick, it's gotta work."
Yeah.
Because whatever Nick's doing is working.
Yeah. They have no idea at that point.
But what they fail, they don't know the groundwork because they haven't done it before. You think you grew your supplement business overnight by just posting a picture of it on your Instagram, and you say, "Hey, this is what I took to turn pro." You know what I mean? And people believed you. Yeah, this is how I turned pro. You turned pro at USA's, right?
Yeah, USA's.
Yeah. So this is what I took for my USA's prep, and now you should buy it too, so you could look like me.
Yeah, that's why I always laugh because I'm like, my following wasn't built on Instagram. My following was built from 15 years of being in an industry for that long. You know what I mean?
Right.
And a lot of people don't see that.
People followed you, maybe not so much anymore, but your initial following was because they were following your prep, right? You were young, you had a supplement contract, you were training with Kai Green, you were traveling, you were doing photo shoots, you were in, muscular development, you were in flex, you were people envied you. It was kind of unheard of to see somebody of that age, right, with that much credentials, and now you turn pro, right? So now it just increase your visuals, right? So people were following you because of muscle management. Then you got your pro card, so they wanted to see what was next from Nick. So that I'm sure your following grew even more once you turned pro.
Yeah, it's
so a lot of that has transitioned now, because of your business, but your initial following was from your bodybuilding.
Yeah, it's so weird too. Like you get such a different. This is a little off topic, but the demographic of people, the dynamic of them changes so much once your content changes. It's I'm sure you've seen that too. You were in the bodybuilding industry your whole life too, so.
Yeah, my entire following base, because I was doing primarily online training, was my main business. It was just clients or potential clients, or people that were just into.
I mean, you had a lucrative business coaching people as well. You were in the same boat I was, and then
we kind of got into it like in the beginning, like perfect timing. Obviously it fell off tremendously, but like when Instagram. The first few years of Instagram, right?
Yeah.
That was like the biggest. Like I remember it was I was very good friends with Vadim. I don't know if you know who Vadim is.
Why do I know that name?
And Hilton. They started first.
Oh yeah, of course I know.
They started one up.
My God, I partied with Hilton a million times. Yeah.
Yes, like Hilton and Vadim, like they were like all,
that was crazy. That was crazy back then, right?
Wow. Yeah, all of us, we were doing the coaching. Like that was. Do you remember? Like they started off as doing online coaching, right?
Nuts.
Right. Hilton was selling like his bulk program or something, and
Yeah.
Vadim was just doing crazy, like regular person, everyday, transformations, like not bodybuilding prep, but like just everyday, lifestyle transformations, and he was killing it, like literally killing it, bro. They were making probably seven figures, probably.
You think so?
Yeah, probably. They were killing it. They had
Damn, I didn't know he killed it like that back then. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
there was no.
I know one up. Is one up still? Does he still have that supplement business? Is that still?
Yeah, One Up is huge.
Okay, I haven't looked at anything up in a while,
One Up is
um,
huge. I
but yeah.
mean,
Anyway.
I haven't been on their page, but I know they recently like moved into like this tremendous warehouse.
Oh shit.
Um, I think they're trying to get into like these gas station type outlets like
Yeah,
Redcon.
a lot of the brands are doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only way you're gonna make money. But yeah, they blew up. And how did they start? They started out by just coaching. I'm like, and that was like the same era that I started my online
Yeah, it's the same
coaching.
thing.
It
Yeah.
was literally, I think it was probably um, 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
That was the year.
Yeah, 13. Yeah. Yep.
And literally everything took off. Because I think that was the same year that Derek Anthony passed away too,
Yeah, it was.
2013.
Yeah, it was 13. Yeah. I was
'Cause
just
I
yeah,
remember,
I was talking about that the other day with somebody. Oh, the kid Leo. Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
Come on.
because I remember like me and Derek were very close. I was over his parents' house, and he was, trying to like get me into, not get me into it, but he was like kind of like training me along with like the online coaching because his client base was tremendous
I
as well.
forgot. I didn't realize you were that close to him. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, we were really close. We were
I was
like
only
I
close
was
to him because of like the shows and expos or whatever
yeah.
I saw him at. And we would obviously we would talk, but I never was like boys with him like that. Um,
Yeah, we went to like a few New York pros together. We went to
he was a
a
good guy
few.
though. Like everyone got a
Yeah, he
misrepresentation of
was.
him.
He was like a little wacky. Like I understand why he got
Yeah,
the
but
backlash.
I liked it
He did. Yeah,
though.
it was like before that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he's
now it'd be cool if you did that
that
now.
would be fine. Yeah, but he would
Yeah,
like push people's buttons on purpose. And
yeah,
he was friends with Dave, so I remember like we all went to Dave's house for New Year's Eve one year.
yeah.
Um, you know, when it was, I don't know, it was just a different time back then. But um, online coaching is not
No,
what it was, right?
no, definitely
You had those. Remember these Instagram pages? They were called IG bodybuilding. I think was one. Um, Instagram bodybuilding.
Yeah, like yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like those like theme pages for sports and stuff and
Yes,
bodybuilding
yes,
stuff.
yes. So like Instagram bodybuilding like had a huge following like back around that year, like 2013 or so.
Yeah,
And maybe a huge following was maybe like 100,000 followers back then. But I remember you used to be able to pay them for a shout out.
shout out. Yeah, they used to fucking kill it.
Yes, they were killing it. They were charging like $500 per shout out, and they leave your shout out up for like
24 hours.
24 hours. Yeah, 24 hours. Because remember, there was no stories back then,
Yeah,
right?
there was no stories.
So it was just
Yeah.
posts. So I used to pay them $500 every day for a shout out.
Yeah.
But I was killing it. Like
I thought I was bad. I used to build like once or twice a month, and I was like, "Am I an asshole for doing this all the time?"
no, because the return that I was getting was insane.
Oh,
Like
really?
I'd pay them for a shout out, and my email would get flooded with
That's
potential
crazy.
clients. And I
That's
figured,
crazy.
oh, all I got to do is sign up 5 people to make this $500 back. That's easy. I was doing
Yeah.
that. I was doing that easily it was reoccurring every month. So even if I
Right.
only sold 5 clients that day, I knew
Yeah.
next month I'd make the money back.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's how I build up my client base, just by doing shout outs like that. Now everybody's doing these celebrity giveaways on Instagram. Times are different, man. They change. You got to move with the times.
Yeah.
So that's like with business, things. No, you're not always going to make the same money that you did 5-10 years ago.
That shit evolved real fucking quick.
It revolves quick, and even these celebrity giveaways, Instagram is cracking down on them. What they're doing is they're shadow banning all these accounts. So like, people are paying 15, 20 grand to get in on a Kim Kardashian giveaway because Kim Kardashian has an insane amount of followers.
Yeah.
And they're really only getting like 5,000, 10,000 followers from the giveaway because after like the first couple of minutes of them going live with the account, Instagram is shadow banning them, so their followers, her followers, are not even really seeing the story.
That's so fucked.
It's crazy. So what
I don't know. Why don't they want people to scale though? What is, I know this is way off topic, but why don't they want people to scale?
Because what they want people to do is invest in advertising with Instagram rather than having you pay
even a personal page.
Even a personal page, they want you to pay for your posts, for promotion.
That's fucking ridiculous. So ridiculous.
So they're gonna cut every little middleman out as best as they can with this shadow banning shit. And
that's
so
wild.
what these hosts are doing that sell these giveaways, what they're doing is they're sending you like not fake followers, but like lower tier. They're basically running like Facebook ads to their account. So they're really targeting anybody. So where you think, oh, I'm going to get all of Kim Kardashian's followers, you're going to get like a fraction of her followers, and the rest are going to be like young kids who play Fortnite. Yeah, for real.
Just fucking bummer.
Anybody? You see them. You'll see like their profile pictures, like a cartoon, or they're just a young kid with no post. It's nonsense.
The next thing I was going to put on here was how you structure LLCs, like why you shouldn't put every single business into your name if you're the face of the business. Let's say you have you're an influencer, for example, and you're going to invest in this business XYZ. I want to talk about why you should probably have a strategic partner, and make sure the business is in, at least the paperwork itself is in someone, your partner's name, or maybe you have a wife or whatever, your husband, if you're a girl. Why you should strategize and putting in the other name, because if you're putting your face out there, the potential of a lawsuit, getting sued, losing money, liens against you, all sorts of things that could happen. I mean, I don't put anything in my name, so I mean, that's just saying that. So let's just kind of like talk about that a little bit if you want.
Yeah, I mean, you wanna minimize risk at all costs, right? So, I mean, obviously, some things have to be in your name for tax purposes. But this is where business partners come in. I know, you got two other partners with, the supplement company, right? So it's all about minimizing risk. And you're right, though, as you become the face of a company, people, and this goes back to what I was just saying, people are always going to be out to get you. They just hate to see you win. They just hate to see you, be successful. So if they get any satisfaction out of bringing you down, then that's what they're going to try and do.
Yeah, these people sit home that are jealous or envious of whoever this person is, and they look for things to take you down with. That's literally what their goal is. I mean, they might not do it, but they might share that idea with somebody, and they have nothing else on their plate to worry about. So their negativity is just literally focused on you because they have nothing else to do. That's the scary thing about this world we're in now, because a lot of things are public nowadays that we do. We have to be public. We have to share to make money. It's a different world we're in, and that's why I stand clear of putting anything in my name. It's in family members' names. It's nobody anybody would ever know, and that's for protection. I'm not going to have my livelihood taken away because some idiot is bored at home and just looks for lawsuits. There's a guy in the supplement industry that literally sues everybody and finds everything that's wrong with every business. I think we talked about it before, and he makes a living on suing people and makes these guys, he blackmails them.
People make a living off of lawsuits, and I learned that working in the jail. And these inmates just come to jail purposely to get lawsuits. They know if they could piss you off enough, and get you into a physical altercation, where they could, proact an injury, right?
Yep.
They're going to sue the city, and the city is going to pay them 100% of the time, right? Yep. So people walk into McDonald's and say water on the floor. Guess what? They're going to slip and fall, right?
Yeah, of course. How many people do you know in your lifetime now that do that shit, man?
Yeah, Jesus. You're right. How many people have sued McDonald's for getting fat?
Yeah, well, that's why I wanted to talk about the Travis Barker thing next.
Yeah, we gotta talk about this before we
Travis
wrap
Scott,
this up.
sorry, not so much Travis
Travis
Barker.
Barker, same guy.
Sorry.
Yeah, before we wrap this up, I want you to go into that. But
um,
yeah, exactly right.
yeah. So what was the other thing? Yeah, I wrote down a quote like "own nothing, control everything," and I'm my advice to people that are out there trying to be investors: get percentages of multiple things. You know, that's how these big, let's say Mark Cuban, for example. That's how he owns over hundreds of companies because he has percentages of companies. He
Mhm.
doesn't have to hit a home run with every fucking company. People get greedy. Like every time I go to a table with an investor, everyone's like, I want this much, I want that much, I want this much.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, I'm happy with 20%. Like, just give me 20%, no problem.
What you have,
Like,
you're right, and what you have to understand is you're not going to hit a home run with everything, right? And
no,
we
and I'm
talk about this, so you got to put your eggs in multiple baskets, you know, so you minimize your loss,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I think too many people are so worried about like that one business being the home run and that's it. And then when it fails, they're like, "Oh man, my business failed." Like, no, I got 16 other ones. I don't care,
Right.
or that one's not doing good this month. I'm not stressing about it.
Correct.
Um, I want my hands in as many things as possible, and then obviously I'm not going to work for 5%, guys, but I mean, as long as I'm making a decent amount of percentage on a business that's doing XYZ numbers a month, big number, you're going to make very good money and passive money. That's why the Amazon automation that Adam talks about is popular. It's very lucrative. There's some other things that we're going to talk about as well. Investments. That's why you need credit cards. Like, that's why you got to be able to have all these things to leverage when these opportunities come up.
Right.
So you're not just stuck with one thing in that 9 to 5. You will never make a killing and become rich and lifetime successful and wealthy from a 9 to 5 job having one job. That'll never happen.
No,
Unless
no,
you're
no.
that one in a million guy that has that crazy job, like which
The,
everyone
the only
wishes he
the
had.
only person I'll tell you right now, the only person that is making um a killing working for somebody else. You know what profession that is? I
Who's
mean,
that? Who's that?
is is somebody who works in sales,
Oh yeah, yep,
right?
yep, yep.
Somebody who is incentivized to work their ass off because they're commission-based salary, right?
Yep.
So if I say, Nick, I have XYZ worth of tasks for you to do tomorrow, but I'm only going to pay you $10 an hour, right?
Yeah, yep.
Are you going to do X, Y, and Z as best as your ability at only getting $10 an hour, rather than if you did those tasks that I assigned, but you get a percentage commission for each task, right?
Yep.
So it's in your best interest to make sure those tasks are completed. Otherwise, you don't get paid.
Yep.
So a salesperson is probably the highest paid individual working for somebody else. I promise you that,
Yep.
right?
No, it's very
Somebody
true.
somebody who's good in sales is going to make a
Yeah,
killing.
yeah. He's gonna over succeed his worth. That's for sure.
But that's it. You in 2021, you need to stop working for your money and start putting your bread into investments where your money works for you. I can't
Yeah,
say this enough.
yeah. Yeah, people are control freaks. This is what I learned over in doing businesses. Control freaks, and they think that their solution to the problem or their business mind is literally the only answer to the
Right.
business. And what I've learned is just to let everybody talk, let everybody have their opinion, let everyone brainstorm. Don't try to take 100% of a company, because that, first of all, you don't even want to have that much liability on your shoulders. This is why picking the strategic partner is so important. Having people that are professionals in that field as your partner,
Mhm.
so that you have the leverage to use someone else's mind as well to your advantage. Like, you don't want all the stress on you. You want to have partners that are able to do things and strategize and level up with you. You don't want to be doing all the work. Like that's horrible. Like, that's not what you want. So be
Mhm.
smart about how much percentage you take of these businesses that you want to invest in. Um, you know, Sit back, have people to help you, So there's multiple brains working on one project. That is always better to have multiple people doing one thing instead of you by yourself trying to figure it out, trying to rough it through. You will never become successful that way being greedy. It just will never work. It's never worked for me when I was younger. When I was like, no, you can't have a percentage of my business. Like, I'm doing everything myself. Like, no, I have a graphics guy. I have this guy. I have this person. I have that guy. I have my lawyer. I have my accountant. Like, I'm like, here, facilitate all the work, Like, you will get 10 times more done doing that. And I don't know why people just want to hoard everything, like every little last bit, fighting over 5% of companies,
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
The last thing about this was, what else did I write here? Well, I mean, this is not, we'll probably say this for something else, like more a safer investment. So like, a lot of people think cars are investments. People, think flipping houses is a smart investment when they know nothing about houses. Like, I was going to talk about that, but let's save that for another thing. Let's talk about the Travis Scott thing, because that's like
let's touch on that before we wrap this.
So Travis Scott, if people don't know, is you live in a bubble. He partnered up with McDonald's, came out with a meal, like a Travis Scott meal, and put his name all over the fucking McDonald's menu. Okay. It wasn't like a franchise investment where he's like, hey, I'm buying 20 McDonald's in Indiana. He wanted his name on the fucking menu. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if this is a worldwide thing or if it's just USA or whatever, or a state. I forget I didn't read that part, but I remember reading all about the lawsuits that he's been implemented with because of him standing behind and backing a McDonald's meal. So now these fat fucks, excuse me, that are home, that go buy McDonald's, they're out of shape and they want to sue somebody
as they're eating McDonald's.
and they want to sue him because he's marketing and promoting unhealthy food to children and adults. So now from a business standpoint, I don't know who his PR person is or who his lawyer. I don't know why he wanted to do this anyway. I don't know if it was to fill his ego because he's like the first person to ever do this for McDonald's meal. I think he's the first, or maybe like a second or something. Maybe someone else did it, but I know Michael Jordan was with like Gatorade and all those other ones. I don't know if he did McDonald's, but I think he was the first one with a fast food franchise, building a meal out. So I think he should have invested in a franchise. That would have been better off and said, hey, this is my McDonald's, because then he's protected. Now he put himself in the fucking literally a line of fire for people to lawyer up and be like, hey, he's promoting unhealthy food,
Right.
And this has been a big problem. If you guys look it up, it's like, I don't know how many lawsuits or if it's civil or not. I don't know if it's got to that point or not, but I know it's a real problem for this guy, and this guy's got a lot of money. So
I'm sure he's got the legal team in place to handle it.
Do you think they actually can garnish something from him for this? Do you think there's a possibility?
I mean, I've seen some crazy shit happen, bro.
I just hope the judge is coherent, because I remember when that person remember that documentary, Super Size Me? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Is that what it's called, when he ate McDonald's every day, like 3 times a week?
Yep.
There was a fuck ton of lawsuits after that because people went and did that and got sick, like kidney failure and shit or whatever happened to them. And there was a million payouts from that fucking movie, that documentary. Like, I know a ton of people got paid out for that.
Right.
So I don't know if this falls under the same, I don't want to say guidelines or laws, but like it's probably very similar though, because they're promoting.
Oh, for sure.
Like.
For sure.
Same with the what was that fat guy from the Blimpie commercial or Subway? Didn't he get sued too? Jeff, whatever his name was.
No, it wasn't Jeff. What was his name?
You know what I'm talking about though, right?
Yeah, what was his name though?
I think he got sued too. I'm pretty sure.
He did. Yeah, he did. You're right. I remember reading about that.
And they stopped. He used to hold the pants up. Remember?
Oh, Jared. Yeah.
Jared.
That's
a Jeff.
Jeff.
Yeah, I think he got sued too, though, or the brand got sued because of that marketing.
Yeah, and they stopped doing that after that occurrence. I mean, really, it makes sense. So you're trying to tell people if you eat Subway, You're gonna drop 15 pant sizes? I mean, come on.
I mean, it is fucked up, but at the same time, someone should be smart enough to. But you can't. That's the thing, though, with the law. Like, you can't expect people to know.
Right.
Like, you
I
can't
mean, even if
assume.
you notice, Subway doesn't even advertise anything at all about health or weight loss. Nothing.
It's a very fine line, dude. It's a very
They
fine
don't. They don't
line.
even touch it. You know that was when they were doing like the $5 footlongs. You remember like that stupid theme song,
Yeah,
right?
$5 foot.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah, yeah.
God,
You know,
fucking
so
song.
Tara's like, if I eat a $5 footlong every day, you could look like this too. Meanwhile, it was in the news. He went like 3 months before and had surgery and had gastric bypass.
Yeah, gastric bypass. Well, that's fucked up though, because since I'm in the supplement business, you know this. There's a lot of words you cannot use with ads. They're banned.
Yeah, that's why I know you have a lot of difficulty running, certain supplements on Facebook.
We get fucking suspended almost every week. We get suspended for something because you can't promise results, And
no,
if you guys are into supplements that watch this, you'll know trying to get a credit card processor is a nightmare, and they want to charge you as a high risk because of the return rate. The what do you call it? I can't think of the word right now. Not back charges. What am I trying to say? Disputes. All the disputes. Yeah, chargebacks, because people want to return supplements for, they're supposed to get these results or whatever. But we actually have we pretty much have 0% chargeback, which is great. But your supplement business is automatically considered a high risk. So when people are like, how come we have to pay this way on your website for body science subs? I'm like, do you guys know anything about the world we're in? Like even CBD is high risk, supplement business, nutraceuticals is high risk. There's a lot of things.
CBD is, you're kind of in the same.
I'm considered as horrible as porn, pretty much.
Yeah. Porn, gambling, CBD.
Gambling, offshore stuff, all this shitty.
Credit repair is right up there too.
Yeah, credit repair is there too, right?
Yeah, it's very hard to get merchant processing for credit repair.
It's fucking nuts, though. It's really nuts, and that the fact that they can control that much of your business, like they ask for literally like 20%, 15% in some places. So it's like, and regular rates for credit cards, guys, is like 1%, 2%. If you're in person, I think it's under 1% if you're swiping your card or something. Mm-hmm. So it's literally like a mafia, the credit card processors. It's crazy. So we need to go into that business. We just get a fucking credit card processing business. Take all these businesses that are supplement businesses. Yeah. We know personally that there's not big 100%. Disputes 100%. On them. The
camera looks blurry.
That's all right. I think it's because of the connection, but it'll record clear. But anything else you want to touch on?
No, I think that was good. We hit an hour.
Just the last thing real quick, just so people know. Also, like when you do security, anything privately with your identity online, I use VPNs always. I've always, because I'm a computer nerd, but your IP address is like your home address. So I'm not sure if you know much about this or not. I'm sure you do, but like people can search IP addresses and literally pinpoint where you are when you log on, when you're on your computer. And if people are like pretty good at hacking shit, it's not hard to get into people's private information. Usually it's because of IP address. So like a lot of scammers, like if people are running a scamming business, they go to like Starbucks, McDonald's, Wi-Fi, and they hide under that because they can't really be searched. They can't be found. I remember when the guy had that shady ass business selling drugs online, Silk Road. He got caught because he went to a Starbucks eventually, like a couple of times in a row, and they found him. Yeah, that's how he got caught.
I didn't know that.
Because he was on camera multiple times at the same Starbucks, and that's how they found him.
Oh wow! What a moron.
Yeah, it was literally down the block from his house. He would just walk there and log in. So that's how eventually they caught him, because of the Starbucks. But like a lot of scammers, I was actually watching a show on Nat Geo about scammers, and like, that lady that did the one on Tony Hughes. Have you seen that show yet?
No.
Have you seen the one on steroids on Nat Geo, the documentary?
No.
Oh man, you guys see the one on scammers. Like you'll get it because you're like in the credit repair business, so I'm sure you see a lot of this shit. So it's fucking, bro. These guys are making hundreds of millions of dollars and they're scamming people. Like it's, oh my god, I gotta send you the link for it. It's nuts. Anyway, the steroid one is good too. Tony Hughes is in it, but and he really destroys the fucking steroid business. Like he makes it look horrible. He makes it look like we're doing meth. But IP addresses is so important, guys. Use VPNs at least. That's at least like one wall of protection. It's not much because they can get the VPN and scramble it and get your IP address anyway. But at least use a VPN from home if you're doing your credit stuff, your credit cards, any of your private information stuff. Just make sure you turn a VPN on and use it. They're like $5 a month, so you can afford them, you know. But that's at least use that for protection to keep your credit secure.
Yeah, you need, especially nowadays. I was getting alerts left and right around
my Wells
Christmas
Fargo my Wells Fargo checking account just got hacked 2 weeks ago.
Did it?
Yeah, they used that website Klarna, you know, that payment thing.
Yeah.
They took like 5Gs in like 7 days, and I wasn't. It was over Christmas. I wasn't checking my account as much. I was like,
Oh wow. Yeah, right around Christmas, like I think it was like the day before or day after, I got an alert that somebody applied for like a Discover credit card under
oh
my name.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
I called, luckily I have, credit monitoring,
Yeah.
services. And I called Discover and I was like, why did I get an alert and a hard inquiry from Discover? And they said, oh, well, you applied yesterday for a credit card. I said, no, I didn't.
God,
What do
it's the
you,
fucking worst. It's the fucking
so
worst.
luckily, that's why it's important. You got to stay on track of your credit because at any time, if you're not monitoring it,
Yeah,
people can have a field day, right?
yeah, yeah.
And they
This
can
guy had
fuck
a
your
field
shit
day.
up, right? So like if they would have actually received this credit card and ran it up, now I would have had late payments on my credit report. I would have collection accounts charged, right?
Oh, you would have been
You know,
pissed.
and so
Oh my god.
if you're not really paying attention, and this person actually got a hold of this card,
Yeah.
or they could take out loans and not pay the loan
I
back. You're
was
responsible for it.
I was at AT&T the other day buying prepaid phones to try to go around this whole Venmo mess. And this guy that was working there, he knows me because I go in there all the time and buy shit. And he was setting up the phones. I'll go after this one. And he's telling me about the scams that people run now with phones. I don't know. Did you ever hear this one before with the cell
No,
phones?
no,
So what they do is they get fake licenses and they go online and say they're buying they have licenses and credit cards. They have stolen credit cards, and they go online and buy like fucking 20 iPhones, let's say, right, for a business account. And they
right,
have to go into the store and pick it up because they don't want to mail it to their house. And they
right,
have the fake ID for the credit card,
right.
and they call the store right at the time and say, hey, I'm coming to pick up my 20 iPhones. It's for Joe. And they're from like Wisconsin, but they're in New Jersey at an AT&T store trying to pick up these phones.
Right.
And they usually come in, they pick them up, and they leave. And then they deactivate all of them and they go sell them on eBay. And they literally cash out on iPhones like that.
Oh,
So
wow.
what AT&T, they've been doing this all the time. Like they do it all the time. And they said what they have to do now is if you're not from the state that you're picking up your iPhones, they can't give you the iPhone now. So like it usually doesn't happen when you're in the same state because then you'll get caught, obviously. But
Yeah,
they'll go hit like 10, 15 stores in the same day, they said, and get like hundreds of iPhones and then literally go sell them all and deactivate them all. And then all the people that sold the iPhones at the AT&T stores all have to pay back their commissions
Oh, wow.
because all the lines got deactivated like literally the same day. It's like they said it's like happens all the time. Like they get ransacked for iPhones and iPads. And it's like the newest thing now, scamming people. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like these people are savages. Like literally savages. Like
Yeah, that's insane. They think of anything, right?
anything. Anything. But all right, that wraps up this one, guys. I'll do the outro after. I'll just do it. I'm done with you. All right, it's done recording.